What's up, everybody? This is Ryan Thomas from the Thomas Take Sports Podcast, bringing you another edition of the Thomas Take. Very excited today to announce my divisions for my fantasy football league. For the listeners of the Thomas Take, I should say, I've actually had a lot of listens from the listeners on this topic, on my fantasy football league that I play in with my good friends and my dad and my friend's dad. And it's a league that's been in existence for about 7-8 years now. We're going into the 8th season of the Lockport Fantasy Football League. That is where I'm from. That's our hometown, Lockport, New York, where the majority, or actually all of the members of the league are from Lockport. So, I came up with an idea to talk about my fantasy league on this podcast, and it's actually been one of the more listened to episodes of the Thomas Take when I did a preview for the semifinals, and I did a preview for the finals as well. I did not do a post-finals reaction, which, in case you haven't heard, you are listening to the now 3-time champion of Lockport Fantasy Football, and that is me, Ryan Thomas. Ryan's Fighting Irish wins its 3rd fantasy football title in the Lockport Fantasy Football League versus Alec Spencer. Alec, kudos to you for making the finals. A good matchup. I was happy to have shared the final stage with you in the 2016 season. And it was a good matchup, a good finals matchup. The two best teams in Lockport Fantasy Football ended up together in the end, and that's what we got. The two teams with the longest winning streaks of the season, my team, Ryan's Fighting Irish, and Alec's team, Team Spencer, went toe-to-toe. I did win by a score of 195, I believe, to, let me look this up just to make sure. I don't want to underscore it. I want it to be exact. So it was 195, which was the highest margin of the season. Jay Ajayi helped me out big time. 195.31 to 134.82. Not trying to rub salt into the wounds, Alec. You made it to the final stage. I've been there. I've lost in the finals. I lost in the finals in 2015. So I know what it's like to come all that way and lose in the finals. But it did not go unnoticed. The effort was there. Andrew Luck, Odell Beckham Jr., T.Y. Hilton, Carlos Hyde. You had a very good season, Alex. So, hang your hat on the fact that you don't hang your head, I should say, based on the fact that you made it second. It's your first year in the league, and you placed second. So that was a good job by Alec. But this, again, my 3rd fantasy football championship, and this is my 3rd year in a row that I made the finals. So I was pretty happy with the way the season turned out, obviously. And I was pretty excited with what happened over the course of the playoffs. I didn't have that first round bye, which is what I usually have. Beat Cody, beat Zach, and then beat Alec in the final. So everybody that played in 2016, thank you guys for playing. I had a lot of fun. And we are on to 2017 now. I'm not going to bask in the championship glory. I will during the off season. I'll make the posts on the Facebook about me being the champ and rubbing it in and everything like that. But once the 2017 season starts, it's game time. I have a championship to defend, something that I was unable to do from 2014 to 2015, something that I'm going to try to do from 2016 to 2017. But the league will be reshaped. As you guys know, that this is a keeper league once again, and the owners of each team will have free reign to keep whoever they like, and they will give up the proper compensation for doing so. So for me, if I keep Ezekiel Elliott, I'll be giving up not only a first-round draft choice, which was what he was picked in last year, the round in which he's picked in last year, but I obviously gave up a 3rd-round pick in the trade to acquire him from Tom, so I'll be giving up 2 draft choices for Ezekiel Elliott this 2017 season. So with that being said, this is the 2017 divisional announcement. This is the first year since our last year on the ESPN.com league where we had divisions. And it was 5 teams in each division. 3 teams made the playoffs in each division based on points for. and divisional record if points for was tied, which it won't be in this case because our Yahoo League, the points are fractional. So that will not apply in this case. So I came up with the divisions. I'd been meaning to post these for quite some time, actually do the Thomas Take Sports podcast on this topic for quite some time, and I just didn't get to it. So how did I come up with these divisions? How did I do it? Did I do it based on record? Did I do it based on points for of last year? How did I do it? I actually did it based on draft choice, and I tried to find a pattern that made sense for the divisions, and I think I found one. So the 2017 draft order will be as follows. The first overall pick, the guy that is on the clock, that will be the first man on the clock for the 2017 draft, is Tom Frew. He finished last in this season's standings in 2016, then Bob Troutwine, then Dave Wilcox, then Dean Thomas, then Cody White, 5th overall, then Scott, 6th overall, Zach, 7th overall, Eric, 8th overall, 9th Alec, and obviously 10th me. So I do it in the inverse order of standings as far as how you finished the season, much like the NFL does. And along the way, I came up with a pattern in which the divisions will be laid out. So there's one division, D1 and D2. I have a name for the divisions. I haven't, put the names to the divisions yet, but obviously one will be named after Walter Payton. The other one will be named after Barry Sanders. So with the first pick, Tom Frew will have the first pick, and he will be out of Division 2. He will be out of Run, Barry, Run. That's what I'm going to call it, the Run, Barry, Run division. Tom will be picking first. He will be a part of Division 2. Bob will be picking second. He will be a part of Division 1, the Sweetness Division, Division 1. Dave will be picking third. He will be a part of Division 1 as well. And then my dad will be a part of Division 2. Cody will be a part of Division 2. Scott will be a part of Division 1. Eric and Zach will be a part of Division 2. I should say Zach and Eric based on pick order. And then myself and Alec will be a part of Division 1. So that's how I figured out who would be in what division, based on pattern of the draft picks. So that would then mean that the Sweetness division would be myself, Alec, Scott, Dave, and Bob. Division 2 would be Zach, Eric, Cody, Tom, and my dad. So, which would be Thomas Tides. So, I put Bob in the division with me because he's Zach's dad. I put my dad in the division with Zach because he's my dad. I didn't want me and Zach in the same division because we're usually pretty successful. I didn't want me and Eric in the same division because we're pretty successful. And I wanted Alec in the same division as me because we played in the finals this past year. I thought it would be a pretty good sequel to our finals matchup to be in the same division. So, that being said as well, Scott was a guy that was in the league last year, a new guy in the league. I had him this past year as his first year in the league. He's in my division as well. Dave has been in the league for a long time. He's in my division as well. Cody was a first-timer in the league last year, so Cody will be in the same division as Zach, Eric, Tom, and my dad. So those are the divisions. Myself, Alec, Scott, Dave, and Bob will be in Division 1. Division 2 will be Zach, Eric, Cody, Tom, and my dad. And it's stupid to say this division's harder or this Division A is harder than Division B. We have no idea how the 2017 season is going to pan out, but I thought that this was the fairest way to put the divisions out. I wanted to put the top 2 teams in one division, the 3 and 4 team in another division, and then work from there. And I did that with my team being number 1 in 2016, Alex's team being number 2 in 2016, put us in the same division. Even though we played each other in the finals last year, I put those 2 teams in the same division, and then I put the 3 team in Eric and the 4 team in Zach in one division, and then worked from there. Scott was really successful this past year. I wanted to put him in my division to make it a little bit tougher for me. I think his team is going to be good heading into 2017. And Cody as well. Cody and Scott are like the same player pretty much, as far as the fact that their first year in the league was last year. And then Dave and Tom have had similar finishes to their seasons, either ranking in the top or ranking towards the bottom, give or take. And then Bob in my division, and then my dad in Zach's division. I think that is the fairest of the fair. That's the best way I could do it. It made the most sense. And it'll create new rivalries within the Lockport Fantasy Football League. Now, how the schedule will look, that will be automated by Yahoo, but I'm excited about that. I think the Sweetness Division and Runberry Run will be good additions to the Lockport Fantasy Football League. Very excited. I wanted my division to be the Sweetness Division because I'm more of a Walter Payton fan than a Barry Sanders fan. So we'll go with that. So in case you didn't hear, I will go through the divisions once again. Division 1, the Sweetness Division, will be myself, Alec, Scott, Dave, and Bob. Division number 2 will be Zach, Eric, Cody, Tom, and Dean, my dad. So those teams that are in your division, those teams you will play twice. In non-divisional matchups, you'll only play those teams once. So it makes that matchup much more important. The matchup between me and Zach will be more important. The matchup between me and Eric will be more important. The matchup between me and Cody will be more important. The matchup between me and Tom will be more important. The matchup between me and my dad will be more important. So it'll be very interesting to see how the season pans out now that there is this new intangible within the league. I like changing things. I like making one year different from the next. And this was the main way to make the league more different from years past. Last year was the first year of the keeper. This year is the first year of the division. So I like the 10 guys that I have. I like the teams that they have built from year to year for this keeper purpose. And it's going to be fun. So any questions at all, feel free to comment on the Lockport Fantasy Football Facebook page. And this is obviously only for the people in my fantasy league. But I appreciate you guys tuning in as well. I'm going to post more stuff about fantasy football throughout the off season and obviously throughout the season as well. So that was the Thomas Take, the 2017 Lockport Fantasy Football Divisional Reveal. Take care.